So hello everyone, more than hey, welcome to my review of Inuyashiki episode 4, and I'm just like, this anime, what's happening at the beginning? Where it's like, okay, this woman OD'd, she's dead, I need a new woman, enters the sauna, or bust, just to call it here, and just like, hey, you suck it. And it's like, this anime has no boundaries, has no limits, it has no filter, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna enter here, and it's all a rape thing, it's like, okay, and then it's like, okay, I'm gonna get the woman over there, she seems pretty fine. Fine Dan Landy. So weird. Weird anime in a good way, right? But I will say this though, I think the episode was great. I think it was like an 8 out of 10 probably. I'll probably give it like a strong 8, so 8.5, but I'll probably give it an 8. I think this was a good anime, very entertaining, has some really good scenes at the beginning, it's really freaky. I like the whole like philosophy and make you weak, so I'll talk about it later. But I will say though that I think the episode was weaker compared to episode 1 and 2 and so on. I kind of miss Hiro. I think episode 2 was the best episode so far. And episode 3 was really funny and weird and had a lot of good moments back and forth between Hiro and Inuyashiki. I kind of missed it actually. Episode 3 really had like both of the main characters right in both angles and so on. That's really good. And episode 1 and 2 of course I introduced them. I think was better as well. So this was definitely like a justice porn episode, right? We see bad guys getting defeated by old man. So it's great, and if you like that, of course you like it. And I like the kind of genre somewhat, and I watched a lot of like Law and Order and so on. So I don't mind it, but I'm thinking that it didn't really have the punch. I think kind of the epic punch that some early episode had. But I did really like that. I really liked though the whole like philosophy. It's like I'm blinding you guys because you take people, right? You make them slaves. You enslave, drag them up or whatever. And of course other crime as well, and that means that you kind of like you're preying on the weak. Yeah, you're preying on the weak in the mafia thing, Yakuza, and I'm gonna make you blind, so you are weak, and now you need help for people. Now you need people to support you. You're gonna need the rest of your life. You're gonna need everyone to kind of like do stuff for you and so on. And so you're gonna be helpless and weak, and eventually maybe you're gonna like atone or like feel that you were wrong and so on in your life, right? So. That's a very interesting philosophical thing there. It was kind of nice though, right? Because it followed one of the, I guess like branch leaders or whatever, right, of the Yakuza to this place, and yeah, everyone was there. So pretty much Inuyashiki pretty much like took out the whole Yakuza, right? All the leaders, yeah. So that was like a nice bonus there. It's like following this guy, and he goes to a meeting with like all other like Oya Beans, like the big bosses, right? That he's like, okay, I'm gonna just blind or kill everyone there, and then yeah, it's like okay. I just wiped out every leader. That being said though, because they're very loyal, right? And he definitely didn't kill everyone. Yeah, he made it blinded them, right? And I mean, he didn't blind like everyone, of course, in the whole system they have. He blinded all the leaders, but actually, probably what happened. But I will say this though, actually though, like he said, the big evil Yakuza guy, like, oh, someone else is gonna get revenge for me. Actually doesn't seem too far-fetched, Not against Inuyashiki, obviously, because he's like a freaking immortal guy, but against other people, because he's blind, but it probably has a lot of followers, or at least generally the other guys, the followers, right, in the whole like Yakuza, all the leaders, they probably have a lot of followers around the city. They will call them, they're blind, they can't find their phone and so on, get some help, they will survive this thing, and then they tell, okay, we don't know who the old man is, but we do know he saved this woman and this guy. So go and get people. So actually, those people probably could get, eliminated later on by the Yakuza, right? Like seriously, they probably won't find the old man, of course, in Inuyashiki because they don't even themselves know who he is. So they probably won't connect to him. But yeah, like why wouldn't they actually just call like there are probably 1,000 henchmen that weren't in that place actually? You're saying, they actually. Is a little funky in a sense. I can't expect him to just kill everyone to kind of wipe out the Yakuza because this actually kept all the leaders to be there. And yes, of course, they're blind and so on, so they wouldn't be leaders for very long. But some members would still follow them, for loyalty and so on, right? So they would still do some revenge list. And even if they wouldn't follow them, it felt like if you did that, it hurt like the 10 leaders of the Yakuza in Tokyo. So all of them are injured and they're all pretty much dead. I mean. I'm pretty sure that their like middle management will still be like, we gotta get some revenge for this thing because otherwise, other people not in our family kind of branch thing will think us are weak. So we gotta get revenge. We gotta kill that man, even though it's just to like establish that thing, right? I mean, if you would kill the old guys and get their placement in the Yakuza, you probably say, okay, I am the boss now. And one of the first things I would do is I'm gonna kill the guys that killed my boss, or not kill them, but injured my boss to show that I'm stronger than they are. Like, so yeah, it's a little like, you know, it's a very philosophical thing. So I liked it, but it definitely gives up for a lot of liability because these guys were like the hardcore yakuza, right? They would have the drugs and the armies and Uzis and machine guns and the whole crew. So this wasn't just some random thugs on the street. They were like the toughest, meanest guys in the town, right? So they could backfire for maybe not him then, but for people. But that was great. I think the strongest scene though for me definitely was the CPR scene, yeah, when I tried to save the guy. I'm surprised he did it. So definitely was the most heartwarming. And I mean, the whole episode was way more, you know, happy and yeah, like the episode had no really like negative outcome, right, for good people. Yeah, obviously all evil people got what they deserved, and all the good people, so 2 people, but yeah, like the good people they got, you know, happy and survived and everything. So that definitely absolutely the most happy ending episode by far. So I was surprised. I was definitely surprised he survived the CPR in there. I thought he was gonna die there, and I felt it's gonna be almost like Inuyashiki moment when he's like, why can't I save him? I was here 1 minute too late. I can't restrict dead people. I can't heal him. He's too injured. But he actually managed to CPR him back there. So that surprised me a lot, actually. Which is good. I think that I would say that I think that's really good, actually, because yes, maybe it feels like, oh, I want the dark and broody thing, but I think it's great because normally Inuyashiki has failed so far, or not failed, but he's failed like saving the girl and so on, and then some random guy. He's kind of back and forth, right? But if it's kind of like, you know, he's a really working hero and he can't do stuff correctly, so you can't let him fail. So the good thing is now that we saw him succeeding, it means that the next time he's gonna save someone, you don't know if he's gonna save them or not. Right? I think that's like a very good point to make here. Is that next time he's in a struggle, I as a viewer can't tell you it's predictable because it's not predictable now. Yeah, so I think that's really great because it removes some of the predictability, right? Earlier it kind of felt like, yeah, he probably fails most of the time. But now it's like, man, maybe he can save people, But also, I guess the longer the story's gonna go, the further it goes to its end, it probably goes more darker. Within this anime is really dark already. But I think that it kind of goes in that aspect. So that was the best thing for me. And then, you know, sort of nude scenes, some sword fighting and so on. I like the classic drawing thing, you know, classic. Something with her having long hair and the hair goes down like, yeah, on the nipples. It's like, okay, the perfect hair, like just the perfect amount of like not nude. Yeah, and the angles are like, oh man, that was like, yeah, I've seen that before in anime. But all of it was pretty good. One thing though, which I think was negative thing, was it was confusing for me. I think I kind of said it back and forth. I was thinking like, is that the same girl we saw in the first scene? I think it's kinda not clear. And I would say that we see one woman ODing. That's some other woman he kidnapped, raped, and so on, right? Goes and rapes the other guy. Sees the woman on the street, kidnaps her, and starts doing it to her as well, right? And then, you know, the whole thing there. But and then she escapes and so on. The whole fight I'm talking about. Because it was kind of like they just had pretty much exact same layout, right? When she was there dragged, and I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I thought it was 2 different women. I think so. I was honestly not sure, like, and I really feel that because they have the exact same layout. It's like exactly the same way, kind of same body. Of course, his type, right? So people kidnaps ladies who are pretty much the same kind of body shape and hair color and so on. So that kind of makes sense. But still, yeah. So that was a little weird, and there was like the same kind of drags. But I guess they also probably because of body thing, they probably used the same kind of footage, right, with both of the scenes. Like the drug, like table scene, probably was the same scene, right, because they don't want to, you know, over balloon that thing. So like it usually makes sense. Probably. But I will say, I am honestly not sure if the first scene is like, you know, like this could happen in this episode. Guy gets ladies and rape people, and then it's like, what happened the day before? Or if that is a code of orders that happened, then he saw her. It would make more sense though. But I have to say, I was like a little confused when I saw it. Maybe I'm stupid here, but I think so. I was like, is that the same scene? It's like, yeah, because it felt ridiculously similar. But I'm guessing it's probably mainly budget, so they probably used to use the same scene, right? They probably reuse the exact same scene. for the first like 1 minute in both of them, and it was like, yeah, it's like it's his type. But anyway, I think the episode was great, but it wasn't like, not, I don't know why, but I think it didn't really have the kind of the really punchline that episode 1 and 2 had, and I think I actually liked episode 3 a lot, mainly because I felt that they jumped back and forth and it really succeeded. Yeah, one thing of course episode 3 had was also like Inuyashiki learning to fly and so on. So this episode didn't have like any progression really. You kind of saw that his powers do save him, and he kind of can fight better when he's like turned off and so on. But they didn't really progress his powers, I guess. So there was something lacking there, some kind of main progression or like main important. It was just the justice thing, I guess. So I think that was a little weaker than episode 1 to 3. But anyway, see you guys next week and have a great day.